Okay, so we're gonna do the first problem here. It says in the figure calculate sine, cosine, and tangent. So you're given this graph on the unit circle 7, -7, 21. Okay, so we have to calculate sine theta, cosine theta, and tan theta. So before we do anything, we need to solve for r. And if you remember the r equation, right, it's x squared plus y squared, and you square root it, right? So the radius squared is x squared plus y squared, and that equals r squared. So we have an x and we have a y, right? My x is -7, and my y is 21. And that's going to give me my r, which is something that is necessary when I need to solve for sine and cosine theta. So if we simplify this, this becomes 49, and this should be 441. Square root that, and you should be getting rad 490. And we can simplify this to 7 rad 10. Okay. Any questions? We're good? Okay. So we have that now. And how do we solve for sine, cosine, tangent? Well, if we were to have a triangle like this, horizontal is my x-axis, right? Vertical is my y, and the radius is the radius, right? How many circles is the radius? So this is the first circle, right? But if I have 2 circles, that means my radius is 2. So I would graph on the second circle. If my radius was 10, it would be on the 10th circle, right? It's the radius from the origin. So if we were to look at theta, because that's what we're solving, right? Sine theta, this equals, we know SOHCAHTOA. So, get it? This is opposite hypotenuse, right? So opposite is y, and hypotenuse is my r, right? So that's why sine theta equals y over r. And what will my cosine be? We'll do the same thing. We start at theta. It'll be adjacent, which is x, and hypotenuse, right? Because it's ah, so it'll be x over r. Because x is adjacent to theta, r is hypotenuse. And tangent, we know that to being sine over cosine, right? That's just the trig formula for tangent. And for tangent, sine is my y, and cosine is my x. So now we have all the information, right? Because we have an x and y here. Okay, we call those rectangular coordinates, right? And now we just have to plug it in these formulas. Do we know what r is? Yes, we just solved for it. It is 7 rad 10. That's my r. Okay, are you okay? Okay, I'll stop. Okay, so now plug it in. So for sine, we have y, which is 21, and then 21 over 7 rad 10. Now, I have to simplify this. I can't have a radical in my denominator, right? So if I simplify this, 21 divided by 7, that would be 3 over rad 10. And I can't have a radical in my denominator, so what do I have to do there? I have to multiply this by rad 10 to both sides. So rad 10, rad 10. Rad 10 times rad 10, that's rad 100, right? And rad 100 equals what? 10. So my bottom would be 10. So 3 rad 10 over 10 would be sine theta. Okay? Now for cosine theta, r is the same, right? So that would be, let me erase tangent for a second. So cosine would be -7 right here, over my r, which was, again, 7 rad over 10. Simplify, -7 over 7, that's -1. Okay? So -1 over rad 10. I can't have radicals at the bottom, so how do I get rid of it? I multiply numerator, denominator by the denominator, which is rad 10. Rad 10 times rad 10, we did it over here. It's rad 100. And rad 100 is just 10, so negative rad 10 over 10. That is my cosine theta. And tangent, we just covered that it's y over x, or sine over cosine. And we know what y and x is. They're just whole numbers here, so this one should be pretty simple. We don't have to deal with radicals. So that is 21 divided by -7, which is just -3. Okay, so tangent theta equals -3. And that is how you solve for both sine, cosine, and tangent given the coordinates. Any questions?